yeah.
No.
Whoa. No?
No.
Oh, shit. Dude, I'm just gonna push you in the hill. Now I'm gonna, oh shit, now I'm gonna be blue.
Wait, he's upright, isn't he?
He's in the water. Oh shit. Now I'm gonna go blue. Probably. Hey guys, Mr.BeetleBum here, and today we are going to talk about team damage. Was it good that they took it out? Was it bad that they took it out? We'll talk about it after this. All right, guys, so it's been over 2 years since World of Tanks took out team damage from the game. So first of all, let's just hear from Wargaming, why did they take it out?
Friendly fire is a very old mechanic that doesn't make any sense anymore, and its only purpose is to express negative emotions in the game.
In fact, team killing doesn't solve any practical issues. Generally, it's just a means of toxicity.
What's even scarier, it's not just about expressing negative emotions once, it's a thing that could potentially cause a domino effect. Say a player expresses their negativity by shooting at an ally, which in turn provokes negativity in the ally that they shot. And after that, anything can happen.
According to the game rules, such actions are forbidden. They're punishable by corresponding sanctions, including account bans.
Any similar situation leads to the weakening of the allied team, so it's a pretty serious issue in any case. We've observed the situation for quite a long time, and now we're finally ready to deal with this feature, so to say.
We decided to rework the damage system, removing the friendly damage by shooting or ramming.
All right, so there you go. The number one reason that they took it out is they want to stop the domino effect, where, you know, one person shoots another person and that person gets upset, you know, and shoots another player, or shoots that player, then shoots another player, and so on, and you domino, ding, 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 one hits another, and everyone gets angry, everyone gets toxic, and everyone starts killing each other. I can see where they're going with that, or how that could be, you know, a reason. Is it the top reason? I don't know. Here's the thing, okay, about that kind of confuses me. You know, if I was to come up to you and just punch you right in the face, are you going to go across the street and punch someone else? Or are you going to turn around and punch me? Okay, so you turn around and you punch me. And then I'm knocked out. I'm on the ground cold. You did a great job. You knocked me out. Are you still going to go across the street and knock someone else out? The next person that looks at you wrong, are you going to knock them out? Maybe if you're imbalanced and you got some serious issues, you would. But most of the time, I don't think you would, because it's the person who did you wrong that you're upset at. I guess what I'm trying to say is the domino effect thing to me just doesn't really make sense. But that's okay. Wargaming is allowed to give us whatever reason they want for it. It's just funny that that was brought up as their reason. My personal opinion, that should have just got left out. Anyways, the reality is they want us to stop damaging each other. That's why they took it out of the game. And that, you know, it's one of these things where when you say it, like, hey man, do you think it would be good to get rid of team damage? It's like, yeah, no shit, Sherlock. Of course you're going to say yes. But you know, did they try any other alternatives first? No, they didn't. They just jumped into the deep end and just said, that's it, we're taking all team damage out. And that, I think, is, you know, a red flag for, I don't know, giving up easy, not really trying to figure it out or anything. It's just, you know what, let's just forget it. Let's just make it so we don't ever have to deal with this again. Let's just get rid of team damage altogether. And then we'll never have to deal with it again. At least that's the idea. You know, get rid of it, make it so that it won't happen. Presto, bingo, bongo, Bob's your uncle, all that good jazz. And we never have to worry about it again. Now, 2 years later, does it happen? Oh, hell yeah. Team damage happens all the time. You saw that I took team damage there last night. Although, of course, that was, a joke. And, because, yes, I did go blue from that. I knew I was blue. As soon as it happened, I knew I was blue. There's nothing I can do about it. Does that upset me? Fuck no. Does it get me mad? No. Yeah, it was an honest mistake, I should have just left the light upside down. Well, no, he would have blown up. I was going to say, because he would be out of spot still. If he was on his side, that would have been just leave him. But because he was upside down, he was going to blow up anyways. And I just tried. It was a failed attempt. I was streaming. I was listening to my daughter, and I was reading the chat and all that, and everything. And I had like M1 Daniel and these other guys trying to kill me. And in between all that, I was just like, oh shit, what can I do? Nothing. I push him into the water, and he's dead. And he didn't get mad at me, by the way, because he knew it was just an accident. So anyways, does it still happen? Yes. But I'm not talking about the situations like that you just saw. What I'm talking about is the guy who will sit there and push you off a cliff in a bigger tank, or push you into the line of fire because he has more horsepower than you do, or torque, whatever you want to call it, power to weight ratio. He's in a big tank, you're in the little tank sniping, and I mean, I got clips galore of people ramming me when I'm scouting, ramming me into the water on stream, and I'm sitting there going, okay. Or playing ranked battles and having me in a light tank, and a Leopard 1 using me to cover his lower plate, which was really funny because a Leopard 1, you need to cover the whole tank. I mean, the list just goes on and on and on and on and on. People still do this. There's still trolls out there. There's still little kids, whether in age, I don't know, but their minds, they're just little children who still, that's how they get off, is they have fun driving into people and push them into line of fire, push them off cliffs. There's so many different ways that you can mess up people. You can just block them, take them out of the game simply by blocking them and not letting them go anywhere. You can crush them up against a wall and just hold them in place. There's just so many different ways of doing it. So it happens still a lot. There's still a lot of people. You go into the forums, you're always able to read about it. You go watch streams and you see it happen. So is this bad? I'd say no. I'd say congratulations, World of Tanks. You've brought it down from a here to about almost half, maybe. I don't know. Yeah, it's reduced, but it's still out there big time. There's a lot of trolling going on. And that's just the way it is. It's funny that they talk about toxicity, but yet now people are mad because there's nothing they can do about it. And you say, Mr. BeetleBum, what are you talking about? Well, it's simple. Back in the day when we had team damage, we were also able to do what's called self-policing. And what that means, quite simply, is if somebody was trolling other people and doing something wrong, the whole team could take action against that player and self-police. We don't need wargaming, because wargaming, quite frankly, doesn't do much when it comes to these things. The in-game reporting system, how you get the 10 points and you can say, they did something bad. I tell people, don't even bother with it. Don't even bother with it. There's no proof that it even gets used or reviewed or anything. I tell people the same thing all the time. If you want wargaming to pay attention to what you're saying, submit a ticket with a replay on it. That's your only chance of getting people to actually look at it and watch it, because they've told us that if you submit it with a replay, that it's guaranteed that someone's going to look at it. So, taking wargaming at its word, that's what you should do. But back in the day, you didn't have to submit a ticket. Quite frankly, you could turn your gun over, and if some guy was sitting there blowing up people for no reason, or trying to ram somebody for no reason, as long as for no reason, then you could just turn around and take them out. And you wouldn't worry about going blue. Here's the other thing. When those people who were trolling other people and doing team damage, almost always these people were trolls, meaning they did it a lot. So they were very quick to turn blue. Because I guess what I need to explain here before I go any further is how the system worked for going blue. Basically, you got two bars, okay? My fists are going to be the bars. We're going to start, we're going to start down here. And this one right here is going to be damage that you do against the enemy. And this one's going to be damage that you do against your team. Well, if you're doing damage against the enemy all the time on a regular basis, and you're doing quite a bit of damage, you get like, a good, I don't know, 5,000. I'm not going to say the number because I don't know what the number was. Nobody knows what the ratio was. But let's just say 10,000 damage, right? And all of a sudden, boom, you hit a tank by accident. He goes across your line of vision as you fire, as you're sniping, and boom, you do damage. Do you go blue? No, not at all. And then you keep doing more and more and more. And all of a sudden, some dick gets into the game and starts shooting at everyone. And all of a sudden, boom, 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 he's dead. He's out. Are you blue? No. Why? Because I'm going to go out of the screen pretty soon. You've got so much damage against the enemy in comparison to damage against your team that it doesn't allow you to go blue. Whereas here is the player who's a troll, who sits there and does team damage. They go damage, damage, damage against the team. Ah, fuck you, boom. Damage, 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 damage against the team. Ah, fuck you, blue. This kind of thing. And it's because they never get like up here. They're always like this. And they're always regularly doing team damage. So because of the system being like that, if you sat there like me, for example, I played my Stug like 15,000 games, and I probably blew away like, I don't know, hundreds of players when I'm back in the day. And every single time, was I the guy going around, blowing people away for no reason? Fuck no. I was totally against that. That's why I said, at the beginning, if you say, should we take away team damage, is that good? Of course I'm going to say yes, because nobody wants those people on their team. What I'm talking about when I say blow people away, I'm talking about the jerks who sit there and start shooting people or damaging or ramming them or anything, putting the gun up against an arty's gun to blow them up, whatever, anything like that, man. We would be able to self-police them. And then that's where I would just turn around and boom, 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 take them out, knowing full well that I'm not going to go blue. Now, if I went a couple games later and all of a sudden someone was doing it again, I would actually type in the chat, somebody else kill him. I've already killed a dick today or whatever. And then, let someone else take care of him, because I know that if I shoot him now I run into the possibility of going blue and getting, kicked out of the game kind of thing. That's how it was. That was called self-policing. And that's worked pretty darn good in most cases. Some cases you get in a game where nobody would self-police. They didn't know. They didn't know how the system worked. Luckily, back then, there was a lot of people that, this is before we lost a huge amount of our base and lost a lot of players who understood mechanics and understood how the system worked and all that. So, you would come across games where, okay, I can't do anything, but no one else would do anything, and someone would go in. Here's another thing about self-policing, about team damage that was good. Nowadays, if you go into a game right now, and you have a light tank who refuses to spot for the team. Let's just say you got one light. And forget all the excuses. Oh, there's an EBR on the other team, Mr.BeetleBum. I can't light. I can't scout. Forget all that crap, man. Let's say it's tier 6 or 5 or whatever, man. Or let's just say there's no wheelies in the game. He still refuses to scout. And what he's doing is he's sitting in the back behind the TDs or right beside the sniping tank destroyers, and he's sniping. Okay, well, he's allowed to do that. He can play the game how he wants. Sure, he can. But he's also screwing the team over because he's not spotting for them, making it very hard for the team to win because the enemy's light tank is scouting and spotting everybody, and we can't see anything because our eyes is over here in the back sniping. That's not good. You can say that that's, he's allowed to do whatever he wants. That's a moot point, man. I'm not talking about that. We all know it's a free world. But when you get into a game where you're playing with other people and it's a team game, handicapping's not cool. So what we used to do was we would say in chat, hey, light, go spot. That's your job. Please help the team. If he said, fuck you, blow him away. Why? Now, Wargamer's going to be like, oh, that's bad. You're bad. Don't do that. You're bad. You're evil. You're toxic. No, we're not. We're taking out the guy who's handicapping the team. Because guess what happens after he gets that happen to him? Or guess what's going to happen when that happens to him 5 times? Ooh, English is terrible. It's hard. Anyways, after a while, he's just going to say, you know what? Okay, I'm done. I'm not going to play a light, or I'm going to play the light, but I'm going to go scout. and help the team. You know what I mean? And get my damage in, because we all know that you can be a passive spotter up front and do tons of damage, enough damage for your win 8, because you have low expected value in a light tank to have a great win 8 at the end of the game. You can mop up. So that was, or a heavy tank, even a heavy tank. Say you got one heavy tank on your team and he's like, nope, I'm in the back. Nope, I'm not helping the team. I'm just going to sit over here and face the wall. Well, do you let him go ahead and screw it over, or do you make it so he gets nothing out of the game? You blow him away and he gets nothing. He gets no credits. He gets nothing. It's like he didn't do anything. Again, that was a way to deter people from it. And again, remember, I said it the first time, but I didn't say it on the heavy. People didn't just blow people away. Like, that wasn't self-policing if you just turn around and start blowing people away. It was always the same stuff. I wish I had video from back then. I wish I could grab you all and take it in a time machine and take you back 6 years. Because we would all say, yo, whatever, T29, hey man, we really need you. Can you come over here? Can you come over here and help us? And, it would either, if he didn't respond, we didn't kill him. If he just sat there and didn't move and he didn't respond, he's probably AFK and he probably could sit there the whole game. But if he responded like, no, fuck off, man, or blah, 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 or I'm not helping, then it was like, okay, ding, ding, open season. Blow him away. Let him know that, like, no, man, no, you're here to help everybody. And that's the thing. When they took out team damage, they didn't really think about it. They didn't try any other options. Why didn't they just increase? Here's a point. Ding. Point number 1. Why didn't they increase the amount of damage, the amount of credits that you had to pay for the damage? In other words, before, when team damage was in the game, if I shot you, and I did 100 damage, or 100 hit points of damage, I would lose, let's just say, 1,000 credits from whatever I made in that game. Why didn't they just make it so for every 100 damage I took off of a teammate, instead of 100, why didn't they make it, 1,000? Make it really, really big, so that people just go, oh, okay, hold up, time out, I want to make credits, this ain't working. Pause for effect. I mean, mind blown, Mr. BeetleBum. Instead of charging them whatever it was, why didn't you make it so the credits that you charged them to repair, why didn't you just up it like ×5 or ×10? Let me think how fast people would stop doing team damage if you had done that. Yep, I'm done thinking. Pretty darn sure that everybody's going to stop doing that, because you would then make it into like when I play my AT7 with the machine gun, where I spend 100,000 credits on average. I lose 100,000 credits on average every time I play that tank, because it's that expensive. Make that so that when a guy does team damage, he's doing 100. He's in the hole 100,000, 200,000. The average player, the new guy who's got no money, he's just gonna be broke. The average player who's got a bunch of credit, they're going to, after a while, realize, okay, this isn't smart anymore. I'm just losing all my credits. I'm not going to be able to buy tanks or anything because I'm losing all my credits to team killing. That would have ended. But instead, Wargaming didn't do that. And Wargaming instead said, you know what, let's just take it out so we don't even have to deal. It's kind of like, it seems like, I'm not saying it is, but it kind of seems like Wargaming just wanted to take the easy road out and say, we just want to ignore it, stick our head in the sand like an ostrich and just not deal with anything. But the problem is then now, as I just explained, we can no longer police the people in the game. We can no longer do that. I'm sure Wargaming, if they were here right now sitting beside me, I'd scooch over, and Wargaming guy right here or lady would say, that's bad. That's bad. We don't need any self-policing. And I would go, yeah, we do. Yeah, we do. All games do it in a way, you know what I mean? And it works well. Because, the base, the bulk of the players are people who have common sense, who like to play the game, and don't need to troll anybody. Guys, we always talk about the toxicity in this community of wargaming. The toxicity within World of Tanks. Here's something to remember. It's what what's the old phrase? The squeaky wheel gets the oil. Yeah, it's always the bad shit that we always remember. It seems like You know, I've told the story many times of how when I'm a kid, all this bad shit happens to me, right? But in reality now, I remember the good stuff. I don't remember the bad stuff because I've learned just to like, you know, not even think about it. In the game, it's the same thing, but in reverse. It's like all we think about because we're constantly hearing all the bad stuff. When something good happens, we don't really think about it too much because we're too busy here. We don't hear about it. People don't go, "Oh, dude, I was in a game yesterday, man, and oh my God, there was teamwork. Everyone helped each other." Maybe once in a while we talk about it, but normally what happens when I log on is I hear everybody telling me stories about how some guy was being a dick and what they did and how they trolled someone, how they killed someone, how they screwed them over. You know, it's all the negative stuff that we're finding. And that negative stuff could easily have been reduced. Yes, there was team damage back in the day when we had team damage, obvious. But we also were able to take care of those who did the team damage. And that's what Wargaming has decided not to. When they did this, they totally ignored that. I would say raise the cost in damage. And in the video that I showed, it says how they take take action against people who did team damage by banning accounts. I'm standing here as one person that can tell you if that was actually around there. That to me is pretty hilarious. You would see the same guys over and over and over and over and over. It took a lot, man, before accounts were banned. I don't know if it was 5 strikes. I don't know if it was 10. I don't know if it was like you got 20 free passes before a strike counted. I don't know how the system works because I don't work for Wargaming, but as a player who knows that knows certain players that were like constantly blue, constantly doing it, and still in the game 4 months later, it's a no-brainer that Wargaming could have upped the ante a bit and made it so that people were, you know, quicker to be deleted from the game. Just ban the fucking accounts, man. If you're gonna ban people for cheating, why don't you ban people for doing that, wrecking other people's games? I don't understand how, you know, that wouldn't happen. Anyways, that's my rant. It's long over, you know, it's long gone. Is Wargaming going to bring back team damage? Fuck no, of course not. But I wanted to bring this up because it's something that comes up all the time. We're constantly hearing in YouTube and in Twitch, we're constantly hearing about people that are doing team damage, pushing people into line of fire, pushing people off cliffs, pushing people, using that, you know, basically just ramming them and pushing light tanks around like this, man. You know, tanks that, my SU-130, if a mouse, or there's so many tanks that can push my SU-130, and if I'm going forward or backwards, it doesn't matter. I can't get off the front end of this thing. He literally has to stop in order for me to be able to go somewhere. As long as he's moving, I'm fucked. And I can't tell you how many times that's happened. You know, and it's not just me. Everyone talks about it. I'm just bringing it up. I'm just the messenger here, man. So it happens a shit ton still. And because they've removed it, there's nothing we can do about it. All we can do is put our in-game ticket in, and then if we're smart, we'll do a replay and send that in. But again, man, Wargaming, you have to understand, just like your internal, surveys, a lot of people just ignore that shit. Ding, 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 done. Get it off my screen. You know, and a lot of people don't even bother sending in the replays. Why? Because they don't have faith that anything's going to happen. And that's not their fault. That we need to look in the mirror for. So, you know, anyways, that's my little rant. I wanted to get that in. I've been meaning to make this video for quite a while now. And I'm sorry that it's a long video, but it's something that, you know, 2 years ago, Wargaming made a decision. They thought it was smart by just ignoring it and saying, you know, look, this is going to remedy it. I think the proof's in the pudding, the fact that they didn't try doing anything else. They didn't increase anything. They didn't, I mean, in that video, they say, at the end of it, it says, we enjoy your feedback. I don't understand how they can keep saying that we'll enjoy your feedback when, you know, lots of people were saying at that time, you know, well, why are you just taking it out? Why don't you do something else? But they just took it out. Anyways, 2 years later, we're here. We're still seeing team damage happen all the time. So I think it's okay for me to make a video about it and say, I don't think it worked. And I think we've actually kind of ruined the game a bit in a small way by taking it out, which is really weird. Team damage. You'd think removing it would be good, but now you know. What do you guys think? Is it good? Are you happy with it? Do you ever get team damage? Do you ever get anyone pushing you into line of fire? Is this a great game when it comes to the lack of toxicity and the lack of people doing team damage? Are you one of these people that am I just different? Am I weird? Are you one of the people who actually can play the game and never have any issues? Although I do think people who play a small amount probably can do that. But anyways, let me know what you think in the comments, man. I'm Mr. BeetleBum. If you like the video, if you don't, if you want to know when my next one comes out, simply set up the notifications. If you want to see me on Twitch, ding, come on over and say hi. As of 2 days from now, I'll be gone. I'm taking a week off to head back to Vancouver and visit my family, see my mom who's out of the hospital now. I'm looking forward to that. So guys, there won't be as many videos going up. But until the next time, guys, I'm Mr. BeetleBum. I appreciate all the support, and I'm out.